All right, I think we're there. I think we had that one set till 8 o'clock. So, but we're on now. We're on. Let me know if you can hear me. Fred, what's going on, mate? How are you? Pentos, what's happening, mate? Hope you've been well. Dusty Martin, what's happening, mate? Zach, here he is. What's happening, Joel? It is cooking in here. Let me just put the aircon on, guys. Give me a sec. Is it juicy?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm a little hot in there, Caitlin, so...
Getting hot and heavy on
just going to put my aircon on.
Take your clothes off.
No, that's inappropriate. That's very inappropriate. How you guys been? What's been happening? Just had to chuck the old aircon on. Hope you guys have been well. Jolly boy, how you going, mate? Yeah, good. I'm going all right. Thank you, mate. How about yourself? What's news? No, it's nice to be getting stuck back into it. It's it's good. Look, I think definitely the lives are good fun. You know, it's good fun. So, feel free to chuck any questions my way. I think I had the live set for 8 o'clock, and then I went from TikTok, said, "Hey, I'm live over at YouTube," and I wasn't. So I just lied to 50 people. But Daniel, hey bro, how you doing? Hope you're well. You too, mate. Hope you're going well. Good to see you. What's been happening? Pentos, whose house do you reckon has more garden soil? That is rare content, bro. It is absolutely rare content. Harvey Langford footy clips. Yeah, look, I feel like he needed to just show me a little bit more. I don't know if there was enough to be like, yeah, he's absolutely ready to explode. I don't know what you thought, but I sort of was like, I wonder how this Melbourne midfield is going to look. Didn't quite see enough. Yeah, I'm sure Amusement will be back. I'm sure he'll be back. Aiden, actually, humility is a quiet confidence. It doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It's Aiden Van Hees. Oh, what's going on, bro? Is that a slip up in the account? Has the Van Hees outed himself? Is that Keno using a side hustle account of his brother's? I don't know. Hope you're well, mate. Hey, Shorty, are you going to make a couple more leagues to join Missed Out every time? Mate, I will. We'll release one pretty soon, I reckon. Oh, yeah, we answered that one. Lukey boy, what's up, mate? G'day, Shorty. Good to see you back. How are you feeling heading into Friday night? How did you react when you heard about the passing Dennis Cometti? I was so shocked. Came all of a sudden. No one called the game better, though. Yeah, look, Friday night, I'm not feeling good, mate. I'm not feeling good. I think we'll probably struggle. Look, I'm keen for footy to be back. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to be pretty tough for us. And, yeah, Dennis, that was really sad. Like, it sort of hits you a bit, like just a voice that you heard throughout your, years growing up, listening to the footy. Like, nothing was better with Dennis and Bruce calling a game. And, yeah, I didn't even know he was unwell. And I think that's where, like sometimes you sort of hear that people are unwell and you're not shocked. But, yeah, that was a real shock to me. So, yeah, obviously a lot of people know him far better than myself. But, yeah, I think I'd share the view that it's really, really sad, to hear such a core member of the call team for many years that we grew up with. So, yeah. Daniel, don't know if I'll sleep tonight, footy tomorrow, and a shorty live tonight. We'll time to park up on the couch and tune in. Got you up on my 75-inch screen, mate. I love that. That warms my heart, mate, just to think that shorty live's on the big screen. We love that. Thank you, bro. And, yeah, thanks for all the comments and questions throughout the preseason. It's been great. Look, I feel like it's always great to get a bit of content flowing, but I do appreciate all your involvement. It's nice to get the lives back. I will probably be going live Tuesday the next couple of weeks because I'm on camp. I'm on school camp for back-to-back weeks. So might be a Tuesday live coming up. But Sporting Analytics, thoughts on Kitty Coleman. Look, he's a big watch for this week. I feel like Saturday night might tell us a bit. I was super keen on him coming into the season, as you guys probably knew. I thought he was a lock. I thought he just, as long as he was fit, I thought he'd play off half back. But when I saw him playing half forward, I was like, what the hell, you know? So I just need to see a bit of surety. I just need a bit of confidence that we can actually trust him, where he's actually going to play. So, yeah, echoing those thoughts. Pentos, don't pick Dean, key back. Look, yeah, I know he is a key back, but I just feel like he'll have one of the better job securities of all rookies. And I think you're allowed to pay up for a couple. And if you're asking me which one would I like to pay up for, Dursma, Hewland, or Dean, I'm going Dean. Look, he's a nice user on his left. I think he's going to get a few intercept points. I think it could be like, look, I'm going with him. I'm pretty keen on him, but Corey got to decide what to do with Dirksen. Look, he's a nice price and everything, but I'm not sure on the job security. Let's have a look at the old teams that come. Oh, we just love seeing the fucking Lions bloody doco come up, don't we? For fuck's sake. This is a good way to just piss you off straight away. Yeah, Shorty's really over that. So where's old mate Dirksen? So was he named? I haven't looked at them all here. Or was he not even named? I don't even know. Am I going blind? I don't know. Can't seem to see him there, but Fred, what's happening? Hey, Shorty, have you seen your odds on the bookies board in the league? Not so super. I have not. Where would I find this? This is good. I like that sort of stuff. Had no idea Dennis was ill at all. Yeah, I know, mate. I know, me too. Riley, Ed Richards is coming into my squad for a third year in a row after the bye. Yeah, nice, mate. Look, he's a bit of a sleeper, isn't he? But he's very consistent now. I think he's here to stay. Joel, doing good, mate. Just want to say cheers for the content over the off-season. Guys like you and other SuperCoach creators inspired to do my own videos for SuperCoach. So thanks, mate. You're a legend. I appreciate that, mate. No worries at all. I really do appreciate those comments, mate. Thanks heaps. And I hope your content's going really well as well, mate. I'll have to try and track those down. But no, it's been great. It's been great to get a few videos going. Sort of had a bit of a combination of the longer form videos, but also tried to have a short, like a YouTube short pretty much every day. So that's been really good. Aiden, maybe the true richness of life is how much joy you can harvest from the smallest possible patch of soil. Damn. And as they say, the grass only grows where you water it, my guy. So there's some bloody wisdom right there for you, mate. King Simo, I'm just trying to get over the devastating passing of Dennis, boy. I know, mate. That was one really just hits you in the chest, doesn't it? You're just like, damn, like just one of the best voices to ever cover the game. Like there's some really good callers, but Dennis was just blessed with this voice. You can listen to it forever. And I think these days you often see commentators sometimes doing too much, like a bit over theatrical or almost calling the game too hard sometimes. I think Dennis just had this great way of calling it enough, letting the crowd noise do its work, but he just was able to say things just at the right time. And he was able to sum things up in almost a few words. And you were just like, yeah, that's it, you know. And some of the greatest calls of all time as well. We all know, some of them famous ones. Rob, saw your latest team update. You have Dean in. Haven't seen many others who have him. What do you see in his upside? Yeah, thanks, mate. Look, I have really felt like he is a bit of a sleeper rookie. I mentioned this before. I feel like you can't pay up for every rookie. Like I feel like you need to have some that are around your 119, and you can't have all of Dursma and Hewland and Dean and all these guys. You could, but you're probably going to fall short elsewhere. So the upside, I think a lot of other guys. Let's take Hewland. I think he's a class act, right? But very strong Gold Coast side. So job security, good without being great. Where I think Dean, fantastic job security. I think he's being a key back. I just think he's going to be part of that back six, really, really solid. And again, comparing like Dean, clear role, interceptor, nice kick also. And just watching him, he just showed signs where I was like, you're ready for AFL. Like you're not frazzled at all. And I just think some of the others like Ulliner and Dersma, that they're going to be out in a wing, and I think their scoring will be inconsistent as well. Like some people might be like, oh, Dean, backman, going to be inconsistent. You can mount the same case for a wingman. Very hard role to score, which is what Dersma and Ullin will likely play. And I just really like Dean. I think from what I've seen in his draft videos and everything, I've just taken a liking to him. So I think, I think I'm going to run with him. Footy Clips, what about your thoughts on Blackiston? Yeah, look, he is one of the hardest workers out there. I mean, he just looks like a guy that's not blessed with the most height or the most talent, but he's getting every bit out of himself. So my only worry would be that probably after 4, 5, 6 weeks, does Brian come back and just push him straight out or push him to the back line? So, yeah, that'd be my only thing. Will we get maybe 3 price rises out of him and then he's gone? Not sure. And then there's obviously the thought of like, yeah, he works hard, but what if he just gets smashed in the ruck as well? A bit undersized. So not the worst pick in the price range, but I'd probably prefer a Windsor. Pentos, actually is McAndrew an R2 possibility, or is that a massive risk? Feels like a risk for me, and you can answer this as well, but if he's R2, what's your escape plan? Because if it goes wrong and Riley O'Brien comes back in, what are you doing? Where are you pivoting to? Very hard to find, a ruck rookie or a ruck upgrade. Like it's hard. If you make that mistake in the midfield, there's options that come up. I'd be concerned if we were just left with. It's one thing to have McAndrew left on maybe like 214K if it doesn't quite work out on your bench. It's another thing to have that on your field, and then you're playing Reedy, and then he gets, a 42, or you go on Edwards, and then he gets dropped. Like, feels like R2 is risky for me. Could be a bit of a nightmare. Daniel, I'm thinking of getting the old PS3 out and playing AFL just to hear the great man call a game. I know. If you get a chance, listen to, there's a Howie Games episode with Dennis. I'm sure there's heaps of podcasts out there. But yeah, really good chat if you want a bit of reminiscing on Dennis. Footy Clips, what about your thoughts on Blackiston? Well, we just touched on that one, mate, so hopefully you heard that as well. Justin, hey, Shorty, I like Kitty, but more tempted with Link McCarthy for Lions. Forgot how good up front he was. Very interesting. I haven't seen any of their pracky games, so I suppose Saturday night I'll be having a good look. We get a bit of a free hit at these teams in opening round. Of course, this counts to their prices, but nothing's counting towards our ranking or scores or anything like that. But gives us a free look. So that's interesting. Interesting thoughts there, mate. Pentos, hey, Shorty, as a massive North fan, I reckon LDU is in for a 115-plus year. I know he hasn't caused you any scars in the past. I reckon he's a safe pick. Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely, yeah. No PTSD at all around that one, but he probably will. He probably will, mate. We've seen it before. But look, all credit to him, mate. He looked good on the weekend. Corey, he's not playing anyway, Dirks. Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry. I think I was a bit slow on that one, mate. Oh, yeah, we mentioned that one. Mr. Sexy Muscles. Heaney or McCluggage? I'd go Heaney, mate. I'd go Heaney. I think he's cheaper, and I think he's going to average more than McCluggage. Reached some big heights, of course, last year, McCluggage, but historically, that was a bit of an outlier. You might mount the case that this is what he's going to be for the next 3 years. Who knows? But I personally think he'll fall back to the pack a little bit. No, do. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Riley, Windsor Shorty, thought he was very impressive in the shortened game. Yeah, I think he's one that's very, very interesting because he could be like a real preseason Rolls Royce. He probably is a bit more of an outside player and probably thrives on, a low pressure game, pracky game. So there's part of me that's like, is he going to get that level of freedom in an AFL game? And then there's another part of me that's like, He's a high pick. He's playing in the centre bounce. He's explosive. He might be running away from the pressure. So I do really like him. He's been in and out of my side, more recently out, but it sort of came down to Windsor or Lawler for me. Where was I going to place that 280 or 300K guy? And I've gone Lawler, but I do think Windsor's a solid option. No Burn. Yeah. Look, he probably was one that a few thought may have played, kicked a few snags in some practice games, but there you go. King Simo, is this a good defence? Wanganeen Miller, Ash, Rosie McKercher, Lindsay Sarong on the bench, Carmichael and Dirksen. Yeah, definitely. Look, obviously with Dirksen not playing, you're probably going to want to look for a bit of an upgrade, but yeah, it's a really strong primo line. McKercher's a watch. I think, I love him, but a few people are, of course, wanting to see him just be named and cleared for the fitness, which is, of course, what I'm wanting to do as well. Bays Lenka, love the vibe of the recent vid. Keen for a big 26. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it, bro. Nah, looking forward to it. Thanks for your comments, mate. Good to see you. Freddy's, go to the league name, not so super, and go into the chat and have a look. Oh, nice. All right. The old SuperCoach chat, hey? How the hell do you do that? Activity. Rightio. What do we got here? There's some good comments here. I'm gonna have to go through these. What have we got? Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this a bit more. I'll go through them, mate. This sounds quite amusing. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, rookie coach. Look out, he's back on the live. Clear your phone storage. Yeah. Oh, mate, the live setup just doesn't feel the same without you next to me, mate. Phone storage is still pretty full, my dudes. But what do you think of the final cut, bro? Leroy, Roberts or McCarthy? Ooh, I'd go Roberts. Bit cheaper. Feel like there's some upside. Well, there's upside to both, but I just feel like I want to go Roberts. Yeah, there's something about him that I quite enjoy. Footy clips. Oh, yeah. So with the lives on YouTube, feel free to just chuck the comment once because I do go through them once or individually. So even if it does take a little bit for me to get to them, like at the moment I'm only up to the 8 o'clock questions. But yeah, bear with me. If we can just chuck them through once, that sort of saves clogging up the chat a little bit. So, but yeah, I'll keep working through them for you, mate. Like we said before, Leroy, I don't think long term. I feel like if we hear that Nick Bryan is not going to return around that round 5 mark and he's going to be a bit longer, then all of a sudden, yeah, if Blackiston's going to be the number 1 ruck for 10 weeks, that's a big difference to 4 or 5. But at the moment, I'm probably feeling like going with others. So we just top up the water. Luke, what team do you reckon surprises us this year, Shorty? Surprises. I don't know. Would it be a surprise for Sydney to finish top 4? Maybe not. I do think North will have a little bit of a jump. I know it's been a long time coming. And maybe the surprise is I think Hawthorn will miss the 8. I think they'll be playing off in the wildcard rounds. Where's Yellow? Shorty thoughts on Charlie Edwards from Adelaide. Looks good, big body midfielder. He did look good. I chucked him in my notes. Had a bit of a chat about him in my YouTube short. But I think when Saligo is back, if he does get back fully, then I don't reckon there's a spot for him. But he did look good. He did. Riggsy, Shorty, what's your trading strategy? Who do you trade first, your mid-prices or rookies? Yeah, look, it's tough to say exactly because you can kind of only really make this up on the run because it really does depend which primos are dropping in which lines and where you feel like, gee, I can't let that guy not be selected at that price, But generally speaking, the first couple of weeks, you just want to use correctional trades to make sure you've got all the best rookies, all the best cash makers, build up as much cash as we can. And then hopefully by round 6, 7, 8, we're starting to see hopefully a bit of luck. Some guys might drop in price. maybe a little, injury-affected game, tagged game, and we can pick up some of those fallen premiums. But, yeah, definitely the main thing is just trying to make sure those first 2 weeks before prices change, just making sure that you haven't missed any rookies that you really need, because they're the gold. That's what's going to get us those upgrades really quick. This is not a March question. This is not the time for eucalyptus trees, bro. Look, you could easily listen to Dennis knowing he would always nail the call. Yeah, 100%. Love him. Anthony, can you rate this midfield? Ashcroft, Butters, Anderson, Dacos, and Richards. Yeah, it's very good. You could argue it's almost too good. You could probably even just have 4 of those guys. You're batting very deep, but no, if you can afford that and you're happy with the rest of your structure, that's fantastic. Damn, Pentos is winning it. What do you guys think of the SuperCoach Cup? I feel like not much has been talked about that, and I really like it. Are people keen for that? Naz, you got to go Naz. The question might be, can you fit both? Can you work that in with your buys? But you have to have Wanganeen Miller, in my opinion. Luke, hey, Shorty, how we going? Been a while. Ended up finishing top 350. Pretty happy with that. Happy to answer questions here. Unsure about as I'm copying heaps of questions from mates now. Mate, well played. No, I've been well, mate. How have you been? Well, you're the man. You're 350, mate. What have you approached this preseason with? Is there something that's, of course, we've got largely similar stuff going on, but is there something a little point of difference you're willing to share? Or, yeah, feel free to let me know. Luke, don't want to bring up the granny. Well, he's done. He's brought up the granny. Do you reckon the Cats have drop-off this year after the granny? I actually do. Yeah, look, unfortunately, historically, that does have an impact. So, yeah, I think it will. Which is not something I'm keen about, but I think we might. That's a risky name. Hey, Shorty, nice try with the shirt for rookie coach. You don't get the cowboy hat on. You're a shocker, mate. You're going to have to keep it cleaner this year, mate. You don't want to get Shorty in trouble, all right? You're going to have to keep it clean. Luke, but I'll still be asking you heaps of questions. Good. I appreciate that, bro. Leroy, Lockie, McAndrew, too. Nah, too risky for mine. Hopefully you heard when I was discussing this earlier, but yeah, far too risky. If it goes pear-shaped, what are you doing? That could be an absolute headache that we do not need early in the season. I think flex is the play for him. Robbo, Caleb Daniel, or... mate. They're still trying out there. You got to respect that. Angus, thoughts on Stafford at D5? I don't even know what's going on half the time. Trent, let's do next league. Yeah, sure. Done deal. All right. Now, please, if you are in a league already, don't join this. Okay? Please leave it for those that aren't in a league yet. So there is one league code. This will be insane to whoever gets this, but you ready? There's one league spot in this one. 253426. And then I'll give one that has 19 spots in a sec. I'll let you try and get into that one. Newcomb and LDU. I don't reckon Newcomb's got enough of that upside. I know he's got a big ceiling, but I just don't think he's consistent enough with that ceiling and has struggled with tags. And LDU, let's not even talk about it. He'll go 110 plus for sure, mate. For sure. I'll go nowhere near him, and he'll stick it up me. Thoughts on LDU in the right. Freddie. Yeah, we've touched on Blackiston a little bit, Ethan, but definitely Bruin. Big watch on Friday night. Let's watch him Friday night. Is he half back? Because if he's half back, then we really got to look. But midfield, I'm not sure. I sort of feel like if he's rolling off half back with Humphreys and even Stewart, I think we've got ourselves a bit of an option there. But I am bearing in mind there's a practice game, very low pressure. Cats definitely weren't, taking it all too proper. So Bruin then played the second half in the midfield, and I just wonder, we've got Smith, Holmes, Atkins, Blitzarves, Warple. Is Bruin sort of sixth in line? I'm not sure he's an option as a mid, but at half back, he is. Daniel, going different in my backline this year and will make my side or break my side. Thoughts? Here we go. Rosie, Dacos, Roberts, Windsor, Farrow, Sarong, bench. Yeah, look, I suppose it's probably Dacos is a little different. So that's I don't mind it. Not one that I've gone with, but I don't mind it. And Robertson, Windsor, yeah, definitely. Look, Roberts could be anything. He could be anything. All right, another league code. Are you guys ready? All right, I'll give you a chance. Get the app up. Log into it. Go to the create/join league. All right, you ready? Okay. We got 19 spots in here. And if you're already in one, put it away, all right? Leave some league spots for some other people. 104539. Good luck, my dudes. Good luck. That's the only one we'll have for tonight. Where are we? What do we got here? Jesus. Harley Reid, yeah. Look, in my team, pure gut feel. Just got that vibe that I reckon he's in for the year. That's going to go big. He's capable of turning up off 19, 18 touches. He's a big, high-impact player. Yeah, I know he gives some frees away. Yeah, he was a bit sloppy in the practice game, and he's still a bit of a hothead, but I'm just feeling like I want to take the risk. You got to take a bit of a gamble sometimes, and this one's probably more with my heart rather than my head, but I am really keen on him. And everything we hear from the Eagles is that he's looking great, and he does look physically better. Just be a matter of if he can cope with attention that he will get. Luke, you tuned into the No Holds Barred documentary channel. Yeah, I've had a look at it. Not all of the matches, but yeah, I've watched quite a few matches, episodes is what I mean. But yeah, I think that I love that stuff. Absolutely love it. So there's a few out too. I think there's one on Prime as well, I think. Magic, I'm telling you, Shorty, Sammy Walsh is a lock for 115. Wow. Hey. Really? Look, my issue is, well, not my issue, but I think 110 is very much possible, no doubt. But can he overcome these concerns with the body? Because he has consistently broken down. And it's just been like, it's the back that worries me. That's just something that just seems to reoccur all the time. 14, 19, and 15 games the last 3 years. I mean, he could, but it's got to be a bit risky too. Thoughts on Steele? My thoughts are pretty straightforward with Steele. I think we either pick players for two reasons: to make money or to keep all year, pretty much. Some might be stepping stones, but largely you want one of them to be pretty prominent. I don't think Steele's either. We're not going to make much money. Yeah, he's maybe slight value, but not much. And I really don't think that he's going to go back to being a keeper. So that's my thoughts. I don't think he fits either category of why we pick a player. But yeah, Ethan, can I back in Young Parrish together with their injury history? Look, you guys know how critical I've been of Darcy Parrish. I'm not a fan. I think he's washed. But the price is great and the role is great. I'd be going Young of the two. A lot of going both. So you definitely can go both. But yeah, you're right with their injury history. Of course, there's definitely some concern, but I think you can go both. Daniel, Rucks are Grundy, English, and Cox. Nice. Flex McAndrew, I've gone big and hoping they make some good points and hopefully 150, 200K from Cox if he gets 2 100-plus scores in the first 8 weeks makes it easy. Yeah, right. So which Cox have you gone with? Am I reading this correct? Are you running Mason Cox? Or am I going crazy? Nick Cox, Mason Cox at 220. Wow, guess he is 220. Right, okay, that's interesting. He actually did look pretty good. That's bold by you. I really like Grundy and English, but that's bold with Mason. Very bold. I like it though. Luke, Shorty, we need a serious league with something up for grabs. Well, I'm all for that. It's just how do you how should we orchestrate it? I'm up for a bit of a prize or something. I just don't know how you go about organising it. So give me some ideas. Jack, hey legend, hope you've been well. Good to see you back. You're a pretty popular man with the leagues. Hopefully people aren't double joining. Full in 15 seconds, bro. Yeah. No, great to see you, mate. I hope you've been well. Appreciate the messages. yeah, look, it's one of those ones where it's really hard to kind of rule against. You just hope that people do the right thing and they don't double up, but I'm sure some do, which kind of pisses me off. But yeah, they fill up really quick. I try to do it the fairest possible way. We're dropping some at random, some at the end of videos, and some fully organized. But unfortunately, you can't keep them all happy all the time. I'll give you my I did that one fill up actually. Let's have a look. I'll give you the wow. There's one spot left in the 104,539. There's one spot, and then on the chat, I'll put in my group as well. Where are we? Two, 4, 7, 6, 4, 8. So, yeah, if you want to jump onto – obviously, that's not a head-to-head one, but it's just an open league. But, yeah, if you want to, feel free. And then we're going to have to roll all the way back up here. Oh, yeah, there's Jack. Nice. Lincoln, Shorty, go to your open league and look for Stones. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it, mate. Rookie coach. Love the final cut and the thumbnail. 10 out of 10 Microsoft Paint skills. Yeah, I know. Me just like pausing on when we're laughing and just getting a serious free sticker maker from Google. It was some serious stuff. Oh, wow. You've got a fan here, Pentos. How good. Carl, Shorty, man of the people and connoisseur of the odd cheeky cruise and Great Ocean Road milkshake beverage. Mate, how you been? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, long weekend this weekend. I think I might get a little Great Ocean. Oh, how well am I going? Maybe I've had a couple of cruises. I might get a little milkshake from down the Great Ocean Road, mate. Absolutely. All right, what do we got, Lukey boy? Wonder how Molina. Oh, he's going now after Shorty popped by just to get camp chairs and then see his long lost grandmother answer the door without Mr. Short. I know, that was crazy, mate. One of the crazier stories that I've got under my belt, and just a wild marketplace experience, mate. I hope she's well. Jack, currently have a pod in my defense. Have a guess. 1% owned, 450 to 500 mark in your bracket. Oh, geez. I'll have a look through, see if I can guess it. $450 to $500, hey. I mean, Sicily feels a bit obvious, but look, you are Brisbane, man. Are you looking at Wilmot? I'm going to guess Wilmot. That'll be my guess. Sure to give that top secret stuff, mate. Top secret, definitely not for the lives, my guys. Too top secret. Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate that, Dusty. How are you, mate? Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate that. What's going on, William? How are you, mate? North top 4. Here we go. Here we go. Would you rather Blackiston or Windsor at D4? Leaning towards Blackiston. I would actually go Windsor, just because it wouldn't surprise me if Blackiston averages more over the first 4 to 5 weeks, but Windsor probably has that more consistent role throughout, providing he plays it well. When is Brian coming back? Or that's my only thing. Maybe I should check a bit more recent. So they've got Brian, still TBC. So, yeah, very tough call. I think they're both solid for their price. If you know Sullivan, geez, I don't know if he's got enough responsibility and clear role. I know he has in the Pracky games, but I don't know if that'll translate. But he does look like a class act. Carl, coming from a long way back this year, Shorty, some if research hours, 0.5, Tanner Bruin, Messiah or Mirage. Naz and Sinclair, can you go both or max one, maybe a Whitfield? TDK, yeah or nah? Yeah, no, appreciate it, bro. Look, that's all right. We research now. Tanner Bruin, if he's half back, I'm interested. Midfield, not so much. I'm probably erring towards no in general, but if he catches my eye Friday night, could be a chance. You can go both. Look, of course it's not ideal, but I'm trying to go both. But if I can find the cash, you got to have with Wayne Miller, but Sinclair could be a nice little bonus as well. Whitfield good too. TDK, I'm a no on. I just feel like no one in their right mind could guarantee me TDK number one ruck for the whole year. And when we're picking a guy at 520 odd K, we want him to be a premium for the whole bloody year. We don't want to worry about him. We want to see him going 110 plus, and he's a set and forget guy. I just feel like Marshall will definitely have moments, whether it's a matchup, whether it's form, whether it's, whatever. I'm sure Marshall will have his moments in the ruck and just take away from De Koning at times. Maybe not until Max King comes back, but I am slightly concerned. But Sully, hey Shorty, thoughts on Will Ashcroft? Yeah, really good pod. I'm surprised that he's not owned by more. I feel like some people are maybe just feeling like his time isn't quite there until Neil moves on. But yeah, I reckon he's a pretty good option, mate. Leroy, who do you love more? Mate, nothing beats Mark. Come on now. Come on. Luke, what did you make of Lockie Neal's situation over the offseason? Look, he's a wanker, mate. Just plain and simple. I mean, I'm probably sick of hearing about it. I was trying to sort of zone out about that stuff, but he's a dick, mate. It's plain and simple. Good footballer, shit bloke. Pretty straightforward there, mate. What score for Bruin has him automatically in your team? Yeah, true. Look, all he'd need to do is like 80 plus, but it's probably more the role. If he scores 80 odd and has a good game in the midfield, I'm probably like, is that sustainable with our midfield and that? Could he get pushed out? But if it's pretty clear that he's rolling around half back, getting involved in chains, the occasional kick in. But I'm also feeling relatively set on my structure and that. So he'd have to really twist my arm. He'd really have to convince me. Carl, mid-prices, Shorty, gun barrel straight, DeGoey, Parrish, Bruin, Young. Do the ghosts of Hammy's past scare you, or is Shorty feeling a touch dangerous? Always feeling a bit dangerous, mate. But DeGoey, no. Bruin, like I said, wait and see. Young, a lock as long as he's fit. Let's monitor what he did the other preseason or the other training. And then Parrish. It might be Shorty's most controversial call of the season, but I'm off him. I reckon he looked like trash in the practice game. He looked like yesterday's hero, good midfielder in 2020, 2021 when the game was contested pill. Move past him. It's moved past him, I reckon. And look, the facts are there. He's at a very good price. The role is great. He's still good at winning the footy in and under and feeding it out. But, geez, a terrible kick. Went at 47% the other day. So, look, I'm happy to pass. You know when you just sometimes you have a thought and you just kind of feel like, I don't want to pick him when I don't really like it. And if it goes wrong, I'm going to feel like, you knew that. Why'd you do it? So, look, I've got a set against him and it could burn me, but I'm going against him. Pentos North will win the wild card and lose the first final. Wow, will we attract both Zach Butters, Sam Taylor and Georgiadis? Wow, this bro's up and about. Look, I think they've got to improve. I think they will improve. Wild card would be a fair old jump. But for your sake, I hope they can, mate. We've got a good midfield coming together. Hey, Tiger Rewald. Hey, Shorty, got on your video on Tuesday when it was 50 seconds old and still missed the league. Are you saying any soon other than tomorrow morning? Are you for the league? Who can be bothered getting up that early? Yeah, well, look, mate, that's the thing. I tried to have it at variations because some people might work evenings or, that's why I put it there. But maybe I might have one more. So right now I've got how many of my leagues? I have 18 of 20 leagues filled. And I'll go live next week. So if it's still 18 by then, it looks like there's still one spot in the 104,539. if anyone wants to be really quick there, 104,539. But yeah, likely that I'll drop the others if they're still remaining next week's live, which will be Tuesday, by the way, because I'm on camp Wednesday night. Rookie coach, I actually think Cats make a run for final again with the hints. It could be Danger's last full run at footy. Yeah, and did I hear that Danger's in doubt for Friday night? That's no good. But look, mate, I hope so. I bloody hope so. And history suggests we definitely can. I mean, we often do find a way, but I'm concerned. I am concerned. We don't even need... Oh, jeez. Hugh, where is my Coles delivery at, mate? What's going on, mate? Did I used to deliver to you, mate? Or is what's going on there? How were the days, bro? That's going back a while now, eh? Travis, surely Ruben Jinby has to be a lock this year. Look, I've got a few wrong in the past. Ruben Jinby was one, but come on, you got to pay credit to Shorty. Remember when I started Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller as a mid-price midfielder? Didn't work out that year, but Shorty was on to Naz pretty early. Flag Hawk, my defence is, Naz, Sinclair, Roberts, Windsor, Sarong, Bench, Lindsay, Dirksen. Who should I trade in for Dirksen? Maybe Jakes. Look, Jakes at the Dogs. Obviously, if you've got a lot of cash, I really like Harry Dean. I wouldn't overthink that just yet. We might just have to wait and see what the teams bring next week, and you'll know your options then. So, yeah, let's wait to see those final team sheets. Campbell, thoughts on Connor Budrick from the Dogs playing half back? Yeah, looked pretty solid. I thought the role looked nice, particularly without Bailey Dale. Of course, there's that concern that when Dale comes back, he might be minimised a bit in those sort of chains and link-ups. Historically, he's more of a lockdown defender, so I'm probably not jumping out of my skin to pay extra for him. But if it works into my structure and I've got the cash, I'd probably go with him. But, yeah, historically been more of a Dower type defender. So it surprised me to see him have so many touches. But maybe, different team, new role, more opportunity. But one to definitely keep an eye on Saturday night. Newcomb will actually nuke your team. Oh, mate, look, he's got that ceiling. I don't know if I can trust him, though. I don't know. Carl, West Coast McCarthy, shorty, reckon he can give you a cheeky little 100-odd DPP magic a la Nick Martin, or will West Coast drag him down to their level? Feels like a trap. Yeah, probably one that I'm happy to just have a look at. And, I mean, let's face it, he's played 3 games as a midfielder. A lot of his best scoring last year was as a halfback. So everything we've seen has been fantastic. But I think it was a good example on the weekend. He played really well, but West Coast got smashed, and it's just hard to find enough points when you get hammered. And look, I would definitely consider him. And I've had times where he's been in my team and I've quickly upgraded to Jordan Clark or straight back up to, Whitfield or even a Sinclair or, more recently Nick Blakey. Hello, little cheeky pod there from Shorty. But, yeah, I'm happy to steer clear. Just feels like he probably doesn't have that ceiling. If he's 400, 450, yeah, 500, it's slight value, but it's also a bit of cash. So, music, Newcomb is probably entering his prime. He just doesn't have any support in the middle. Yeah, and that's probably it, isn't it? Look, I think if he's got a bit of support from Day or someone who's can maybe take that limelight, take a bit of that tagging pressure off him, I feel like he can get sat on, can't he? Yeah, so Hayden Young came off at training with a bit of a lower leg kind of ankle concern. So, yeah, a bit of a watch this space. Nah, not for me, Dylan. Buku, just a bit of one of them one-hit wonder scores through the preseason. Not for me. Nice score, but I'm definitely happy to pass, mate. Leroy Butters to average 200 in the first 5. He could, mate. He could, mate. He got a nice run, and he just destroys teams, doesn't he? When he cashes in, he seriously can cash in. This is wild from Pentos. Just let that soak in. This man hasn't lost it. He hasn't lost it. Luke, well, hopefully not too many people see this, but the strategy for me is to only go 2 players that are playing in opening round, which does mean I'm missing out on some big players I would love to have. I like the strategy, though. You've obviously thought a bit about this. Fair play, just to really try and maximise gaining points on others when the buyers do kick in, I'm guessing. But I would imagine, what you probably Dacos is one you're starting or Naz. Yeah, interesting, mate. Daniel finally got in. AFL God is my team name. Awesome, mate. I'm pleased. Good stuff. Well, it's nice to see when people actually do get in because it's rough reading the comments when you're, I missed it. I was in 30 seconds. Like, I don't even know what the best way to do it is. But, oh, man, no, bro. No. Jack, Shorty, you're going to have to make an exception for me in a league as I got you one in my leagues. Yeah, bro, I know, mate. We'll see what we can do, bro. We'll see. That's a little off-air chat, hey. I'm going to chat to Jack there. Carl, SuperCoach, Shorty SuperCoach 9, follow your dreams. You can reach your goals. I'm living proof. Beefcake. Feeling a little emotional right now. It's good to have you guys back, You crack me up. Look, it's a good little community we got, the Shorty community. It's nice to see a few familiar names. So thanks for jumping on. Flagcock, hey, Shorty, can I go Bont and Butters to start? Well, you definitely can. Like, it's certainly paying right up there. You probably can't have a Dacos then. Like, I feel like you can only have 2 real huge big dogs. But I think not only is Bont being, like, so expensive, but also with the buy, like playing opening round, that's just almost that little bit of a tipping point for me. But Jars, hey, Shorty, thoughts on Sicily this year? Not a bad price. Preseason, I was really keen on him, but I just don't know if he's that main guy out of the back line anymore. Like, even say, like Tom Stewart now. All of a sudden, Lawson Humphries has moved up a bit. Max Holmes, when he was half-back, took a bit of the role. Now Bruin rolls in. Good, still going to be good players and still intercept, but then you look at Sicily, it's like Amon's having a bit of that cake too. Impey, Weddle occasionally off half-back. Just makes me feel like back when Hawthorn sucked and Sicily they were just giving it to him on every occasion. He was the I suppose the main man in the back line, and just that reliable head on the shoulders that was just calm there and using the footy beautifully. Where now I'm not sure he's that guy anymore, but he is at a nice price. Luke, yeah, there he is. Tempted to sign up to Prime. Oh, yes, the Doco, yeah. I think I've got a subscription through a mate, so I might try that, yeah. Having a chat with the old Tiger. Track or Darcy to start? That's a good question. Look, all pre-season, I've been Darcy, but I've just got a bit worried recently with the injury, and it's a bit of a mystery one from Darcy. I know they've sort of talked about hip and general soreness, but yeah, it just makes me a little nervous. It just sort of makes me feel like this isn't the ideal prep. And sometimes players can have interrupted pre-season and come out and score beautifully, but young, developing, key, tall, I don't know. I'd have to go Petrarca now. That hurts me. Walsh v Dacos, both are to buy. I can only pick one. See how they go this weekend. It's not even a question for mine. Nick Dacos is a lock for me, and I think Walsh has his own case to mount as a selection. Okay, no doubt, but Dacos he's an absolutely different league. Karen, what's going on? Jack McRae, very good to us last year. Not an option this year, unfortunately. Slady, thoughts on Sinclair over Naz because of ownership? Look, sometimes I'm about that play. Sometimes I don't mind that. But when a guy like Wanganeen Miller just looks like launching into an insane prime of his career as a midfielder who can kick goals, yeah, people can mount the case that he'll get tagged. But for every 1 week that he gets tagged, and I still think he'll just go to half-back and still find the footy or push forward and they'll look for him. So for every tagging game that he scores a 70 or an 80, you're going to miss out on some 130s, 140s, and the occasional 170, I reckon. I think that's where this guy's at now. He's just oozing confidence. And, yeah, I don't think you can fade him at all. I think he's a play. Freddie, what are your thoughts on the mid? Bont, Butters, McClegg, Janison, Young, Farrow, Smith, Sharp. Yeah, good, mate. That looks good. We'll go to about 9 o'clock. So we're up to about 8:20 on the comments. So might try and be a little punchy with some of them. So if you have put a comment in a bit more recently, hopefully I can still get to you, but be patient with me. Caleb, hey, Shorty, first time commenter, bro. Good to see you. Thank you. Wondering your thoughts on Windhager. Seems like he's due for more minutes and good midfield time. And also had a stack of it off half back. So I think it was had some kick-ins, had the 41 touches, but also had 8 CBAs. So are we calling them CBUs now? I don't even know. But, Yeah, I think if you're looking for a pod, he's not the worst. I personally haven't considered him strongly, but he's always been a guy that's had a little bit of that fantasy relevant play. Like he kind of felt like he could take the step up. I guess it's weird because it's like, is he a half back or a mid? Which one are we seeing? I'd have a real close look at him Sunday night and make your call off about that. Still going 150. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know. Wow, Mason Cox, very bold. I like it. Lucas, low-key might go LDU at M4. Yeah, look, mate, if I didn't go through the pain I went through last year, I reckon I might too. But he killed me, bro. A definite shout with the new rules. Yeah, look, he has looked better. And it looks like, if Sean Darcy's a long way away, it looks like they are going to play Cox and have him as that tap ruckman. And he actually did look a bit rejuvenated. I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at Mason Cox too. There you go. I wonder what his ownership is. Old Coxie. Who would have thought that we'd even talk about this man? 3%. There you go. So it is building. Fred, I have you up on the big TV just waiting for you to trade it out to you. Right. Hey, thanks for having me on the big screen, mate. Caleb Grundy in English have the same early buy. Could hurt. Yeah, I had looked at that as well, but I mean, what early buy, but I like them so much more than everyone else. And there's a couple other clubs in that buy that I don't have many. I think, do they share it with Gold Coast and Hawthorn, which I have no players from there? I sometimes think, like, I don't want to be completely controlled by the buys. Yeah, I might have a painful week, but if every other week's fantastic and these picks are great, yeah, I hate the buys, mate. I hate them. Lincoln, Shorty, I can't work out whether I want to go a bit mid-price madness with some guns or just guns and rookies. Another option is to make two teams, but I don't believe in that. One team's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, look, I don't think you can. Look, you can go the two teams, but sort of a bit outside the spirit. I feel like you can't feel as good about your selections if you have two teams. You really got to lock into one. Look, I would suggest go largely guns and rookies with a sprinkling of 3 to 5 mid prices, probably 3 or 4. Like if I look at mine, I've got, I suppose McCurtain just falls into mid price category. Young, who's a lock. Reed is a mid pricer. Flanders, but he's a lock. And then Lawler. So there's 5. I feel like 2 are some of the bigger locks in the game. So I feel like for me, Reed is one of probably the big mid-price risk. But yeah, I think Rob Rowe, yeah, 47. I'm not sure what that was about. Shorty's open to giving out a free ride in the test. LDU season, I know. Imagine. I can see it happening. There's the Open League group as well. If you want to jump into that, Lucas, oh my god, that's why I want him. Decent start as well. Can't remember exactly who that was in regards to, but Newcomb is underrated as fuck. He's got the mid to himself. He does, but sometimes that doesn't always work out fantastically if you're a bit susceptible to the tag, which I think Newcomb has been. But no, look, he's a very good player, no doubt. Loves the final. Paul Curtis, good player is Paul. Nice, mate. He's in the league. Good stuff. Why don't you go back and pay a visit to Melina? Could be a bit cruel, mate. I think, unfortunately, it felt a bit cruel, mate. I felt a bit sad that she genuinely thought that. Look, I'd love to, but yeah, maybe giving her a bit of false hope, mate. I think that'd be a bit harsh. But look, my pod is Lawson Humphreys has gone from 1% to 4%, which isn't too bad, but I'll give you a clue later of my one and only pod I've been tracking all preseason. Looking bloody good. I look forward to the clue, mate. I'll try and guess that. Lawson Humphreys not bad. I mean, he's definitely continuing to rise up the ranks and looks like he's such a good ball user. Definitely the best kick in our side and great decision maker. So don't mind it. I've got no idea what's going on there, bro. Jack, not a bad shout, but Worrell, no keen. Main kick out taker. Right. Wow, that's super interesting. I did not expect that. Nice, mate. I might have to give a bit of a closer look to that. Like, I won't be going there myself, but that's interesting. SuperCoach Dog. Do you reckon it's all right to go with English and Grundy, who both have the same league bye? Think they are the best picks to start. Ideas is you can cut one before their bye if not going well. Yeah, mate, I think you can. And like you say, I think they're clearly the best rucks to start. And if there was an alternative where I felt a bit more comfortable, maybe you would be like, I'll take the next best option, better buy structure. But I haven't really felt comfortable with any other structures. So I've sort of felt like I'm just going to cop that. I'm going to cop that for that week, and it'll be a bit rough. But yeah, I think I'm going to run with those guys. Oh, he was your original pod. Okay, interesting. 4 to 6 for Brian. Okay, and changed. Right, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. How to navigate the English Grundy sharing the buy. Well, look, they'll give us the best 18, won't they, for the buys? And in that one, they share it with Gold Coast and Hawthorn. Look, you're just going to have to cop a 0. I mean, you hopefully got McAndrew or maybe Mitch Edwards or a Reedy to cover it. I think you just got to take your medicine. Look, if they both average 115, 120 for the rest of the year, and you got to suck it up for 1 week where it's a bit rough, then I think that's just what we do. Like, yeah, it makes it a bit more like, I think for me, Grundy and English both in a ruck, yeah. But otherwise, I don't have any other dogs. Jakes might play, Jones might play, but, they might not even be on field. Sydney, yeah, okay. Goulden, very popular as well, but it can't be perfect with the buys. We can't always completely dodge and have a perfect structure. And personally, if you die hard trying to win the 50K, you might try and find a better strategy. But for me, if I'm feeling good about Grundy and English, I'm just going to run with them. I'll just cop a bit of a hit. I don't want to pick guys I'm less keen on and then get annoyed at them for every other week. I'd rather just be happy, have a poor one, and go from there. Lincoln, I just want to pick who I want. Yeah, I know. The buys just kill it, mate. They kill it. So annoying. Point of difference, mate. So a player with low ownership. Try and get that little advantage over the rest of the comp. Has McAndrew been discussed? Unsure about putting him R2. No, it has done. Look, don't put him R2. Far too risky. Exit strategy would be risky if it does go a bit pear-shaped in the first 4 to 6 weeks and he hasn't got many price rises. Put him in your flex. Definitely flex for me. Freddie, have a look at Cherry early rounds. His matchup, I'd rather be downgrading than upgrading. Yeah, that's fair. Look, I think the matchups is probably the real discussion point against what we're seeing on the field. But I must admit, I feel like I'd be annoyed at myself if I started him having noticed that he is struggling with these new rules. I feel like, yeah, you're spot on, rather downgrade, but I don't want to pick a guy thinking I might have to downgrade if it really isn't happening for him. So I'm happy to watch from afar, and if he does adjust and it's fine, then credit to him, and I'll find a way to get him in. But at the moment, I'm happy to go elsewhere. Leroy, thoughts on Sheasel? Is he worth that price? Also thoughts on Cooper Duff Tyler. So he's a lock. Sheasel is a lock, mate. Absolutely no doubt about it. Cooper Duff Tyler, not so much. He might get some ruck time, but he's going to be a very inconsistent option. Young, tall. He'll float in and float out. He's clearly got talent, but I think for the extra price as a rookie, probably happy to go elsewhere. Good call. Shorty Caldwell runs rings around Parrish. Kind of sad to watch. Yeah, look, Parrish doesn't look good, in my opinion. Lincoln, thoughts on going English and Mac or less risky? Go 2 set and forget. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said before, flex for sure, or R3, whatever's sort of suiting you best. But yeah, we need 2 big dogs in the ruck, I reckon. So fast. Max, could you run Grundy and Tim? Yeah, definitely with Bond and Anderson in the midfield. Well, that's maybe where, so that's probably a different question. Like I said before, I don't have any other dogs or sons, like no Petrarca, no Bont, nothing like that. If you've got Bont and Anderson, that's probably a different question. You're probably stretching yourself a bit too far. So I'd have a look at maybe how you're going to cope with that buy. But yeah, generally speaking, like I said before, I think you can. But yeah, bit of extra risk with those other guys. Yeah, I know. Real sort of radio work here, isn't it? Look, can't believe I used to like Lachie Neale. Even got a photo with him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's funny how people change. Like I used to really love him. He was one of my favourites, particularly as a docker. I really liked him. But yeah, no, he's done himself dirty. Max White Worrell, my guy this year, 105 to 115 over McCurcher. Wow, I'm going to have to do some looking at the stats. That is very, very interesting. Thank you for that. I like something left field. Lincoln, thoughts on Dirksen not getting picked as a Blue supporter? I think it's pretty stiff. No offense to Lewis Young, but I'd rather give Dirksen a run. Yeah, and I was hearing on the radio that's probably Young or Dirksen. And yeah, without knowing the team as well as you, I probably would have thought off the Pracky game, maybe someone new might have been. But yeah, he probably find himself a little bit unlucky there. Slady, who do you think, McCurcher or McCarthy? I would go McCurcher if he's fit. Of course, we've got to see him named. But yeah, I'm huge on McCurcher. I can see him going 105 as long as that finger heals up all good and nice and he's right. I'm really keen on him. I do not know who we're talking about there. But Anthony, you need to get Whitfield in your team after the round 4 bye because his run is good until round 10. Okay, I might have to have a look at that, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it'll be key when we try and do our upgrades, won't it? Trying to find the right ones at the right time. Ripper, thoughts on McCluggage, scored 90-something and a half a footy. Look, he's in some prime form. I personally don't want to take him at that price. He's only done it once after a long period of time in your early 100s. I think he'll drop back a little bit, so I'm happy to pass. But look, the Pracky game certainly did speak to a man who's still in some serious form. Carl, Steve Rabbits, Cornelio, Harry Ralston, Shorty, considering any of those blokes, or even Toby Green, given Jedhurst midfield outs. Can't take Clary back again. Broke my heart too often. Yeah, agreed. Look, Cornelio, I just can't do. I can't do it with the body and can get pushed out to flanks, and he's a bit slow. And Ralston I was seriously looking at, but I just cooled on him a little bit when I really wanted to see Ralston ahead of Cornelio, and Cornelio was in front of him in that centre bounce rotation. I could have worn Oliver, Toby Green, then Ralston, but seeing Cornelio throw himself in front of him and then Callaghan returning, I just felt like Ralston didn't have enough of a prominent role in the midfield to give us the numbers we need. And 270, it's cheap without being dirt cheap, so it just wasn't enough for me. But Leroy Cherry has a good start with the fixture. I might even go him. Yeah, look, he does have a great start, but I think we do seriously have to look at he is struggling with the centre bounce stuff. And we talk about English and Grundy being clear starting picks. They are starting picks because, yeah, they're athletic types, but they pick up a lot of footy in transition, linking up with hands, cover the ground well. Cherry, I think he averaged 18 touches last year. 14 of those are contested or around that. So he's a clearance and contested player. So the combination of the no wrestling and a little less centre bounce, I think it's going to affect him. So I definitely am off him, but the fixture early is bloody appealing. Luke, nope, just Flanders and Philippo and had a pod, cannot reveal. Maybe only a clue. Maybe only a clue. What are you going, Finbar, mate? Oh, mate, you're going to make me overthink it. Jeez. Gee, where's Steve? Shorty, what's been going on? Is this the first stream of the year? It is, mate. It is. How have you been? No, I've been well. Work's been busy, but going nicely. Yeah, I've been playing a bit of pickleball, mate. No, it's good. It's good. Matthew, mustache growing tips. Looks beautiful. Oh, thanks, bro. Look, we just let it run, mate. I only started this when my mate at work dobbed me in to do Movember. Up until then, Shorty was a clean-shaven man. But thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Steve, just seen your team. You have a few expensive rookies. Are you confident they're going to be good enough value compared to others? I assume you're referring to probably someone like Dean, who seems to be the only one, I don't know, that's probably around that sort of range of expensive that's not super popular. Yeah, I'm really confident on Dean. I think he's going to be a nice interceptor, great job security. Yeah, I'm keen on him. I said earlier, look, I don't think you can have Yule and Dersmer and Dean. Like, you can't have too many of those, Duff Tyler. But so I sort of just went to 190 plus 200K rookie, and Dean was the one that I landed on. Tiger Rewalt, Shorty, you should just run 2 accounts with the same team every year for double the leagues if you love it. It's not a bad idea, actually. So that'd be pretty hard to get the trades in for both. I'd be thinking overtime, wouldn't I? But no, it's not a bad idea. Adam, VC Jagger against Richmond. I'm tempted, I know. Didn't he look fantastic? He was just looking like he was born for it, wasn't he? Thoughts on Baz, big pod, 5% on. Yeah, not bad point, Max. Look, if he had a good preseason, I'd be in on it. But injury interruption, had a few concerns last year as well, where he just had a bit of soreness, and I think he was laid out at one point. So, yeah, would like to have a full preseason to make that commitment to a pod. So that's the only thing against him. Matthew, I'm currently in development on a short documentary project centered around your journey this season. Culminating in what I believe will be a championship year for you, Matthew. Thank you for your faith, my guy. As part of the narrative arc, I'd value a brief on-camera comment from you reflecting on your outlook for the season, your mindset, expectations, and what this year represents in the broader context. This is good. Of your career, your perspective would add meaningful depth to the story we're shaping. I'm expecting a doco now, Matthew. I'm expecting a doco. But look, what have we got here? My expectations, mate. We got to dream high, my dude. You know, we got to set those heights pretty high. That's good for the doco, isn't it? Set those heights pretty high. You can edit that out. But you got to dare to dream, mate. You got to dare to dream. Shorty always feels like he could land a pod or two and win the 50K. I want to win the SuperCoach Cup. I want to win that little knockout thing and win the grand. But historically, we've butchered the starting team. So I've tried to take a bit less risk with my starting team and just stay with the pack. Don't bite off too many risks. So we're just hoping to not have too much carnage early. And Shorty's going to back himself to trade well. But, yeah, we're going to see how we go. Because the last year was tough. It didn't go our way. It was frustrating backing up, reviewing that side every Sunday. So we're renewed, we're rejuvenated, we're hopeful. Wilson over Flanders, Trent. That's bold. No, look, Flanders is a lock, mate. He's an absolute lock. I like Wilson, but Flanders is a definite lock. Crazefit starting, Gorn and Cherry, no buy. Not overthinking it. They will do a lot around the ground, hopefully. Yeah, look, I don't like going against guys that have treated us so well, but Gorn I could probably see. Cherry, yeah, definitely referenced my thoughts earlier. I've got a few doubts in there. George, thoughts on McCluggage pick. Too overpriced for me. He's only had one of those years. I like to see a bit more scoring history for a guy that's paying that sort of price, but he's in great form. Freddie, what do you think of these odds? I got 8-1 for the Dons to make the 10. Jeez, I don't know. I'm not sure I've got the faith in the Dons, mate. I'd want double-figure odds, mate, I reckon. Josh, Shorty, give me thoughts on the young man, Jacob Newton. Yeah, he looked all right. I mean, I think he's probably on the fringe of the best 23, so I'm not sure he's one we're absolutely launching at, but he showed a bit. He actually showed quite a bit. So probably not one that I think we'll consider, but could be a handy little pickup for the Eagles. Wooden spoon data, mate. I'm pretty locked on Bailey over Petrarca. What do you think? Look, I haven't seen a stack of Brizzy's Pracky games, but unless there's been a clear change in his midfield time, which I don't think I've seen, I don't see any reason why Bailey would step up and change what he's been over the last few years. He's always been a guy that can inject himself in the midfield, be good, but also really dynamic forward. I just think Brisbane's midfield bats so deep, so I'm happy to kind of pass on him. Leroy, my pod is Roberts. I love that man. Yeah, look, he's I think he's still under 10% ownership. He's a nice user of the footy, is Roberts, and he can hopefully work out better than last year's Roberts. Matt Roberts didn't quite pan out the way we thought. Tiger Rewald, thoughts on McAndrew and Cox R2 and Flex. Oh, too risky. I really do think you've got to have 2 gun rucks and then use those guys as the flex. I just think so much can go wrong. And I've seen, look, Matty Flynn last year, a bit more expensive than some of these guys, but I thought, yeah, let's take a risk on him. And if it goes pear-shaped in the ruck, there just isn't those alternatives like there are through the middle and other positions. I don't want to take that kind of risk in the ruck. Sick of the buy talk. Best 18, 110 from a primo versus 60 from a replacement rookie on field equals 50 points over 22 games. That's 2 points. Yeah. True. True. I mean, you're right. To change something you're really confident on to someone you're maybe not as keen on purely for a buy, you make a pretty good point, my friend. Luke, behinds, that's your only clue, Shorty. And if you ask me, that's a pretty good clue. Behinds. Interesting. You're going to have to leave me with that one. That's a little thinker. Thank you. JCD, who's a sleeper pick, Shorty, who will average 5 to 10 more points than everyone is anticipating? Ooh, a little sleeper pick. Nick Blakey. I think he can genuinely go around 105. I'm not thinking he's going to reinvent the wheel and go nuts to like 110, but I think 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds in, we'll be like, wow, Nick Blakey he's one of the top 5 defenders. So I'm right on board with him. Judge, Shorty, if Bailey Dale is fit to play, I'll probably pick him. Wow, you're a big believer in Dale then. Look, he's probably one that I don't think quite has the ceiling of some others, and throw in a bit of an injury. I probably wouldn't, but hey, you must be a big fan, man. I respect it. Mac and Jack Sinclair on Naz, still 50-50 on it. For me, it's do you have Sinclair alongside Naz? Wanganeen Miller picks himself. There's some times where you can maybe mount a case to go against the popular pick. Not for this one. I think it's more of a matter of can you negotiate the St Kilda buy with both of them? But you've got to have Naz, in my opinion. Lincoln, thoughts on my boy Lincoln McCarthy? If this halfback role shows an opening round, he's only 3%. Oh, look, I'll be watching on, and yeah, if it is there, it might be hard to say no to. But I'd be surprised. You know how some guys, they move back and you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. To me, it doesn't. McCarthy doesn't seem like a guy that would suit. But, yeah, I reckon we watch, mate, and we see what we can find out, because it's a bit of a one I didn't expect, to be fair. Luke, why so keen on McKercher, Shorty? I'm more confident on Roberts. Honestly, fading him and Harley Reid, turnover machines, couldn't do it to myself. Look, I've liked McKercher for a long, long time. I just think he's probably battled against some other halfback types and had strange roles as well as a youngster, where now I just think he's going to be the main guy out of the back line for North. Would have liked to see a preseason game to just really confirm that. But, yeah, I'm super keen on it. I think he's one of the best kicks in the league. Harley Reid, you raise a pretty good point, mate. Look, I feel like I've really hitched my wagon to him and it's hard to get off, but he could cause me some pain. He could be one that I trade out early, but I think I'm going to have to go with him. Mac and Jack Sinclair and Naz. Oh, yeah, we answered that one, didn't we? Caleb Callahan is tempting, assuming he's fully fit. Got a good game for SuperCoach. Yeah, definitely. He's one that I could see, even with a slight interrupt pre-season. I think he could come in and be like, this guy's a jet. I could definitely see him doing that. Slady, thoughts on Luke Jackson? Oh, man, yeah, tough one. Part of me was like he was everywhere, but he was nowhere. Like, I really like the role for Freo. I think it's quite interesting. It's unique. Bit of mid, bit of down the line marking forward, ruck as well. In the end, I just got a little bit skittish because I just want to see my big dog rucks just doing big dog ruck things and just shouldering the ruck load, plenty of repeat stoppage, and just they're there all the time. I don't know if Jackson's going to be a good midfielder or not, and I don't like the fact that he's sort of still the second option in the rucks. It's weird. It's weird, but yeah, he could also be amazingly well suited to these new rules and could be fantastic. But one thing's for sure, when he shared the ruck last year and sort of played some midfield late in the year too, he averaged 101. When he was on his own from 6 games, it was like 137. So I think he averages 105. It's not a question of can he average well, but the question is, can he average 110? What's the code? 253. Was that that one could be full now, mates. So that one's full, but it's still sitting at 19 out of 20 for this one. 104,539. So I don't know. I just refreshed it, but so feel free to give that a crack, mate. Shorty, what movie is this line from? Keep it clean, mate. You got to keep it clean, bro. Mr. Bloody League is full already. I know, mate. I'm sorry. It just takes taken up so quick. Regular Dan, how many players on the buy is too many for these early buy rounds? I reckon 5. You wouldn't want many. You wouldn't much more. Oh, fuck. You wouldn't want much more than 5. Hopefully early season buys, particularly that round, 2 or 3 or whatever it is, we should still have most of our rookies playing. So that allows us to cover it a bit more. So I think you wouldn't want much more than that. But, hey, Magpies, g'day, Shorty, keen for another year, got heaps for you, Rivers and 80K in the bank or Josh Dacos. Wow, hey, hope you're doing well, mate. Oh, geez, I'd almost go Rivers, I think. I think I'd almost go Rivers. And Sid Draper, he's injured, I think. He's sort of carrying something from what I can gather. So, yeah, I'd probably go elsewhere on him. Gonna go a bold pod, Shorty. Oh, look, is Nick Blakey a pod, or is he bold? He's definitely a pod. But he's my guy at the moment. I'm all in on Cozzy, mate. I'm not fading him personally, but I'm all in. Sports replayers, why are people underrating Essendon? Look, I think it's just because they're young. They're sort of largely unproven and untried and still sort of into a development phase. Magpies is a good bench. Edwards, Jakes, Farrow, Sharp, Lemire's, Reedy, Lombard, McRae. Yeah, look, those names all read well, pretty popular. It's hard to say with much conviction until we see the team sheets next week anyway. But for now, that looks pretty solid. You reckon the buy rounds won't matter, Shorty? Will it be with it being best 18? It takes the edge off it for sure. I'm pretty confident it's best 18. Definitely takes the edge off it. Look, yeah, of course, you don't want to sell yourself too short, but yeah, I don't think it'll be as drastic. There's been buy structures in certain ways it's panned out. Like in the middle buy rounds, it's spread out over 5 this year. I reckon in the past we've had 3. So just such huge, really did require some planning. Where it's spread out over 5, I think we can get away with a bit more. Wooden Spoon, Zach Bailey CBAs are up over the preseason. I think he has some hunger over missing out on the norm, and he's a contract player or in a contract year. Interesting. Yeah, look, I mean, I didn't know those CBA numbers, so thank you, mate. Not one for me, but that's quite interesting. You mount a good case there. Freddie, bye, mate. I've got to head off to make sure I have to look at the bookies board. Oh, yes, I will, mate. No, thanks for your questions, bro. I'll probably finish up in a sec too, I reckon. I think we might do a few more, and we've sort of gone a little bit over the 9, but I reckon we'll yeah, nice. Yeah, I like it. I like Blakey too. This is the thing. I don't want him to go nuts tomorrow. I want to keep him slightly pod. Fraser and Newcombe or Bont and Farrow. Definitely Bont and Farrow for me. Who gets injured first? Young, Parish, or DeGoey? Oh, look, I think DeGoey, then Parish, and then hopefully never Young. But yeah, I think DeGoey will pop something real early. Jack, are the quizzes starting up again? Have you ever done Gridley? Fun little online game. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, me and a few mates, we get around the Gridley. Absolutely, mate. That's good fun. And quizzes will be back once the footy fully starts. So I think I'll use next week's live to be purely SuperCoach before lockout kind of chat. But then once round 1's completed, yeah, we will we'll definitely get some quizzes going. But yeah, look, I'll try and do 1 or 2 more questions that we haven't heard from. I don't think we've seen much from Chase. Just got here. There you go. Sorry if you already answered. This is Young fully out. Sorry if you already is Young fully out. No, I don't think so. I think he's still very much in the mix for round 1. I'm hearing it's just a bit of an ankle concern, so hopefully nothing too bad. But watch this space. I like Jackson and have him still, but Cox having more hit-outs concern me. Yeah, I think that's fair, mate. I don't think we've seen much of Reece. Thoughts on Griffin Logue as an option, has incredible job security. Yeah, definitely locked into that north side, but no, not one for me, mate. Not one. He's never shown genuine scoring ability. I don't see why that would change now, so not for me. Hey, mate, I keep missing the code reveals. Needed the league to join on, mate. I do apologise. Look, I think I've got 2 left. I'll definitely release them over probably the next live next week on Tuesday. But I've got a league dropping. I think it's 7 a.m. scheduled tomorrow. So if you want to get up early and try your luck, I sort of did that for the early birds. But, yeah, look, mate, I do apologise. It's hard to get everyone in. I'll put up my SuperCoach group in a moment. Crusader, are you on the beers for round 0? No, I don't think so, mate. I'm catching up with a few mates, and we might have a quiet one or two, but nothing too crazy. Tend to not really drink too much when I'm watching the footy, to be fair. But where's that league open one? 247 648. 247 648. So that's an open group. So if you want to jump in there, feel free, mate. Bont, Goulden, Grundy, Petrarca, and English, too many out of the round 3 bye. Look, I think 5's probably a max, depending if you got any other rookies or mid-price that might overthrow it. But you're probably on the edge. But, yeah, have a look how it all looks right before when we got the rookies as well. Gorn, I'm going Grundy in English. I just think combination of age, rule changes, I just feel like English and Grundy are suited to them the absolute best. So I'm just going with them. But, look, I reckon we haven't heard from Jason, I don't reckon much. I know you started LDE last season. It didn't go great. But how do you feel about him this season? Well, look, mate, he looks fantastic, to be fair. If I didn't have the pain last year, I think I'd go with him, to be honest, because I really like him and he's underpriced, but I couldn't. If I had egg on my face twice from that same selection, I'd look like a fool. But nah, he honestly is putting his best foot forward and actually looks pretty good. Should he make one big league for most points for everyone to get in? So even if you miss a head-to-head, yeah, well, absolutely. And that's what this one is. So this is an open league, so everyone can be in that. You can see who's the highest scorer out of all the people, for sure. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I am going to rock and roll. I'm going to chuck on a bit of AFL 360 and smash a Milo and go to bed. So, thanks for all your questions. Good to be back. Great to see some familiar names. We'll be back on Tuesday. So, I'm on camp. Oh, he's hit me with a Cats question. Humphreys. I think he will go a bit next level. Whether that's enough to be a SuperCoach keeper, because he's priced like 400, it's a smidge awkward. But I do think he will. I think he'll be right up there, mate. I think he's definitely going to take a bit more ownership down back. That might affect Stewart a little bit too, and it'll be interesting to see how he teams up with Bruin. So it's a bit of a watch for Friday night. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Appreciate all your questions and comments. I will have a few videos coming along, a few shorts as well. The TikTok's always pumping out some videos also. But yeah, next Tuesday, because I'm off on camp Wednesday to Friday, the next 2 weeks actually. Got Year 7 camp and Year 8 camp. So appreciate it, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers. Have a good night.